Hey, what is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe, your host of the Dr. Vibe Show, host and producer of the Dr. Vibe Show, saying you're blessed and highly favored, you're a magnet for miracles, and your solution for someone's problem. You can also check me out hosting at the Good Men Project, their monthly Google Hangouts, and also co-producing the monthly Google Hangouts at the Good Men Project with Marie Roker-Jones. We have a special guest. Well, actually, we have two special guests tonight. Really and truly, this is wonderful. Our first special guest is Dr. Tursha Hamilton. She's been on our show before. Naturopathic doctor from Arizona.
Arizona.
Yes, and tell us what the weather's like today in Arizona.
Today, the weather is beautiful. It's tending on the hot side, but it's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
And just tell us what the temperature's all about today.
Well, it's probably somewhere between the, mid 80s, somewhere around mid 80s.
Oh, yes. I like guys. Very good. And I am blessed and highly favored to have a special co-host with me tonight, a friend. Goddess Intellect. She's been on the show many times, and I thought it'd be just outstanding to have her on the show co-hosting with me tonight. And hey, more to come from Vibe and Goddess, or Goddess and Vibe, G and V, going on in the future. So, Goddess, for those who haven't seen you on a Google Hangout with you before, can you give a little background about yourself?
Sure. I'm Goddess Intellect. I'm a relationship coach and blogger over at goddessintellect.com, and I'm also the creator of the Battle of the Sexes show, which is a live and interactive social event. So yes, I'm here co-hosting. I've been on the show a few times and loved it. I call Dr. Vibe the Canadian Arsenio, so
nice.
Really
Nice.
He's not playing the music right now, but he usually has this like really slick, smooth jazz kind of vibe music in the beginning.
Well,
so
there you go. Well, thank you so much, Goddess. Much appreciated and not taken for granted. So tonight, myself and Goddess, we're going to have a conversation with Dr. Tursha about her latest book called Practically Healthy, Step-by-Step Guide to Better Health. And
yes.
One other thing, Goddess is based in Toronto, so I got a Toronto lady with me tonight. I am so happy. So that's all good. It's all good. So, we want to talk with her about her book, and we've already set up there's going to be a part 2 because we're not going to get through everything probably in one shot, but Dr. Tursha is more than happy to be on the show again. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, first things first, what made you write the book?
It was, for one, I've been wanting to write a book. There were several mentors of mine who I thought needed to write books, and of course, I wanted to get in on it, so I kept telling them, I'll help you, you just do it, and I'll write the foreword. And so I realized after a while, one, that they weren't going to do it when I was ready for them to do it, and two, that I needed to reach a larger audience. And so I wanted to have, at minimum, something available for people when I do talks and seminars, so that they don't just go away and try to remember what it was that I was saying, that they would actually have something that they can have tangible and refer to, so that when they're trying to improve their health and do better in the future, that they can just pull out the book, flip the pages, and read something to get them, to keep them motivated and to move them forward.
Great. Goddess, go ahead.
Oh, I have like a few questions. I wrote them down and everything.
Wow, prepared. I am
yes,
impressed.
Did my research. I did. So I guess mine, I was reading on your site, and I noticed a few really cool things and initiatives that you're doing. But I had one question. How do you do Skype consultations? Because I know.
Can I just interrupt? Goddess, do you have someone's getting feedback? Do you have your computer on?
I do. Maybe I need to get on.
Can you turn off the audio, because I'm hearing some feedback on your end, and sorry to be rude and interrupt.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, that's better.
Maybe I'll close my
It's okay
I'll close
now.
my browser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Sorry about that.
Cool. Ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always ready.
So my question was, about the Skype consultations, because I noticed you said that you have clients from all over the world, and I know I went to see a naturopath a few years back, and I actually had to go in, and we had to do a lot of, do the heart rate and everything. So how do you go about doing that if there's someone interested in having a consultation with you?
Well, that's a great question. So basically, it's always ideal to have someone in office with me so that I could actually talk to them. I could see them face to face. We can exchange energy. We can exchange whatever it is we need to exchange. I can do physical exams or whatever it is I need to do at the time. But if that's not possible, I don't want people to be limited or miss out on the opportunity, and I don't want to miss out on the personal opportunity in order to reach someone. So if all we have is face-to-face conversation via internet, then we won't be able to do as much as we would like to do, but at least we'll have conversation and we can discuss some things. So you can still get a lot done through conversation. It just won't be as much as if I were able to do and take their vital signs or, get that face-to-face interaction.
Okay, I thought that was interesting. I think that's really cool that you're accessible like that, because, not a lot of doctors are like that I know of anyway.
Right.
So I thought that was
it'll sort of be like what we're doing now. And so, just pick a venue, whether it's Skype or Google Hangouts or something like that, to have a conversation face to face, even though we're not speaking.
That's wonderful. And what do consultation, I've been through it, but for those who are tuning in and have, are curious and have never been to a naturopathic doctor before, what can they look forward to, or what can they expect?
Well, for one, expect us to get in your business. so basically, instead of having the typical 10-15 minute visit with your physician, you're going to actually have 45 minutes to an hour, and in some cases an hour and a half. And we actually do ask a lot of questions, and depending on the modality that we're using, we may even ask some strange questions. So just trying to understand not just what's going on, but how long it's been going on. What does it make you feel like? What was going on in your life around that time that it started? Let's see if we can dig in a little bit deeper to figure out what it is happening with you and why, and see if we can figure out how to help your body heal past what's going on by getting to the crux of the issue.
Hey, I've got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's about the book, because we're going to get to the book too.
Yes.
Why did you use the quote by Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine? I found that a very interesting quote to start the book off with.
Well, one, we use it in naturopathic medicine. We use a couple of Hippocrates' quotes quite a bit, and part of it is because we like to. Well, because he is a medical doctor who had the philosophy that we actually have. And so, for one, because he was alive such a long time ago, it helps people to see that what we're saying now is not a new concept, that it's something that medicine was built on. And it also lends credibility in that what we preach and what we do is, again, not a new concept. It is one that someone who is highly respected in conventional medicine actually used in medicine. And so, that says for me and to me that there is a lot of credibility. And so if someone needs credibility in what I say, then here you go. This is someone who is the father of your medicine or conventional medicine or an ideology that you might believe in a little bit more. And he said many years ago what I'm telling you now.
Goddess, if you want to have another one, I can keep on going, but I want you to have some fun too.
Sure. Who is your book for? Is it for someone who's gone to see you, or is it for someone who is probably curious about, changing their lifestyle, and they just, want something, by their side to keep as a motivator?
It's for both. It's actually, the book was geared toward someone who is still trying to figure out how to fit health and wellness into their lives. So whether it's someone that has actually seen a naturopath before or someone who has not, if they're in that place where they want to get healthy but don't know where to go, or they have all of this information that's come to them from all of these different places, and they may be overwhelmed with information, which is very easy to do with modern technology. Someone who maybe has started but is, something that I always do is I'll mentally get started, and before I actually physically start, I'll overwhelm myself and I'm exhausted before I start. And so, if you have any of those things going on, my thought is, if I can help you make it simple, make it plain, get you to do 1, 2, maybe 3 things, get comfortable with those things, and then you can build on that, then your health will not be such a task or a chore. It'll be something that's a part of your life, which is what health should be anyway. So that's who the book is geared toward.
My conversation piece next is, can you just do a high level? You outline in the book that there's 6 basic tenets of naturopathic medicine. Could you just go over them with our audience, please?
I can. So let me actually open it up so that I don't forget what they are. So the 6 basic tenets of naturopathic medicine, these are sort of the basis of the medicine, and it's not necessarily new at all. It's not something that is exclusive to naturopathic medicine. We just tend to use them quite a bit when we are seeing patients. So the very first one is vis medicatrix naturae. It is the healing power of nature. So naturopaths, we try to do things, help the body heal in accordance with nature and in accordance with medicine, with nature. Because if you realize, you cut yourself, your arm is going to heal by itself. And that happens everywhere in the body. And so to honor that process, we try to do what we can to actually help the process along. And so instead of suppressing things, instead of trying to stop reactions from happening, we try to help the process by feeding the body, by eliminating the crap, by resting the body, giving the body all the things that it needs in order to heal. The next one is tole causum. It's treat the cause. So if, again, you can figure out what it is that caused the issue with the body in the first place, then you can go back to that and actually fix that problem, as opposed to just trying to fix the symptoms or fix what's going on right now, because that's just putting a band-aid on it, and that's never really getting ahead of the issue and healing it. So treating the cause is what we want to do so that they can actually have resolution in their symptoms. Tole totem is treat the whole person. So one of the issues with conventional medicine is that we break people down into the sum of their parts. So if you have, congested sinuses, we send you to an ENT. If you have heart issues, we send you to a cardiologist. If you have mental issues, we send you to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. If you have foot pain, we send you to a foot doctor. And though those specialists are very necessary, one of the things that happens is that there are very few conventional physicians who actually look at the entire person and see what may be causing all of those issues, because it might be a common link that something in your foot and something in your head are connected. And so if we can connect those things and see how they're connected, and again get to the root cause of what's happening with the person, then we might be able to heal them without doing too much, without giving too many medications, and without going in too many different directions. So that is Tole Totem. I'm going to skip the next one and go to prevenir. So that's prevention. We all know that prevention is the best medicine. So it's much easier to not get a condition or a disease than it is to treat one. And so if we can teach people how to avoid getting a disease in the first place, then they never have to deal with the whole, how do I get out of it? How do I get well? How do I manage these symptoms? The next one is primum non nocere, and that is first do no harm. So using the medicines or whatever method it is that we're using that will cause the least amount of harm, the least amount of damage, and will do the most amount of good in the body, will give the body the better fighting chance, and not have the body harmed on the back end. So if we can do things that are going to be effective, then without harming the body, then that's less that the body actually has to heal from. And the last one is docere, and that is doctor as teacher. The word doctor actually means teacher. And so most naturopaths actually take that to heart. And we do as much education as possible because in my mind, education is empowerment. And so if I can teach people how to do some of the things that they normally go to the doctor for, then that empowers them to actually build their health, build better health, and to not feel so helpless when they have something happening. And so those are the 6 tenets of naturopathic medicine.
Wonderful. Goddess?
I'm going to kind of switch it a little bit, switch the conversation a little bit. I know that when it comes to black men in health, from my perspective, my experiences, it's a lot, like I think women are more accepting or willing to try naturopathic medicine. So how can we encourage our men to get on board and, detox, cleanse, eat healthier, and so forth? Because there's a lot of things we're fighting. Like I'm from a Caribbean background, or if you're a Black American, there's soul food. So there's a lot of there's a lot of things to fight. It's like, okay, how do I drop that delicious fatty food and make the switch to a clean, a cleaner diet?
Right.
Especially if you're a man, it's difficult.
Right. Men don't like to go to the doctor at all.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Well, let's not say at all. Say at all.
Say most men, because
this
black man goes to the doctor every 3 months. So now you can continue your conversation.
So he's going for some other people that don't like to go. So, men in general, most men, not all, definitely not all, but most men in general do not like to go to the doctor. And like I was saying on the last show, men don't like to go to the doctor unless something is falling off or they can't have sex. And so, what I try to do is I for everybody, males or females, I basically try to meet a person where they are. And so figure out what makes them tick. And it's all about education. So if I can educate a person and speak to them in whatever language they understand, whatever angle they need me to come from, speak to them from that angle and still get the same message across, then that will give them more of an impetus to go and take care of their health, do whatever it is that they need to take care of. And so, if it is talking about sex and how they can perform longer, stronger, better, be after taking care of themselves, then that's what I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to talk about it. And so that's basically it. Just keep educating, keep talking about it. And, maybe we'll have to actually talk to them when they're in the middle of a crisis. Like, well, if you do a cleanse, if you do a detox, if you put down that chicken, if you, not eat the oxtails quite as much, then, and to speak to them from that angle, then they are more likely to hear you.
Dr. Tursha.
Yes.
How did you come up with the title? Because it sounds so easy, practically.
I love it. I love it.
I actually don't remember how I came up with the title.
Oh, how bad!
I think it was just given to me divinely.
That's such a nice out answer. Go on, no problem.
But I think it was just divinely given to me because once once it came to me, it was like, okay, it could mean this, it could mean that, it could mean that. It actually means all of those things, and so it had a nice little ring to it. So. Yeah, I actually don't remember when the title came to me.
No problem. Goddess?
So your book release is coming out May 3rd, and you have a party.
Days, yes.
Yes, so how are you preparing for that? How do you feel about that? And, what are your expectations for the book?
Well, how do I feel about it? I'm sort of excited and nervous and sleepy. all rolled into one. Because a party is a party, and so this is my baby. This is my first project like this that I'm introducing to everybody. So that's always there. The reception that I've received so far from people who've read the books has been extremely positive. So I look forward to that. What am I expecting? I am hoping that people will actually use the book and allow the book to help them build health, because that's my ultimate goal. If I can get people educated to the point where they don't need to come see me or any other physician except in emergencies, then I've done my job. So if we can use that, whether it's me or my medical doctor friends or my naturopathic physician friends, we can, or whomever else is in the healthcare field, if we can use the book to help educate each other and to help motivate each other to better health, then I've done my job.
I just want to get into the conversation piece here. When people think of this is not just your regular health book, because it's a holistic health book, because you cover a number of different areas, not just physical health, but emotional health. So why was it important for you to cover a holistic approach in this book?
Well, because of two of the tenets that I'd mentioned before. It's totally totem and totally causum. Treat the whole person and treat the cause. And so if I am not talking about health from a mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical aspect, then I'm not really doing my job. So that's why in the beginning of the book, my goal was to have people read the first 3 chapters first. And sit down, digest those 3 chapters, because that talks about why I wrote the book, why it's important to plan things out, and how to start working on the mental parts of health. And because if you don't do it mentally, then you are not as likely to be successful in the physical part. Because the mind, you're always thinking. You might not always be physical, but you're always thinking. You always have these thoughts in your head in the background. And so you have to start to fix some of those things so that the other parts of what your goals are will be successful.
Goddess?
I wanted to ask you about the Lunch and Learn program.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And I kind of vision it where people are coming there and competing whose lunch is healthier. That's how I vision it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Lunch and Learn and how you came up with that concept? Why it's important?
There was an organization in Phoenix that had space available that I could use, but they were only available, from 8 to 5. And so I was like, okay, how can I utilize this space during these times, because most people are at work? And so that's where the idea of Lunch and Learn came from. And I figured, if nobody came, no big deal, but if people did come, then that would be a bonus. And so what I did was I took the different chapters of the book and I made them a topic. And so, like today I had a talk, and it was You Are What You Eat, How to Read Food Labels. And so, one of the chapters is focused on food, because food is one of those things that it's cross-cultural, it's worldwide, everyone's going to eat, and every culture is tied to food. And so if we can figure out how to do food better, then we are much more likely to be healthy in that regard with the building blocks of our physical body. And so if I could teach people one little thing about ways that they can eat better in, reading food labels, or in doing detoxes and cleansing, or, giving them practical information about losing weight, if I can do that, if on their lunch break, then they're much more likely to be able to utilize it, because there it is. And then again, I gave titles based on the chapters of the book so that I could tie in the book and health and what people need to and want to hear.
That's brilliant. I really love that concept.
That's a great concept. Dr. T, I'll call you Dr. T.
That's fine.
How long did it take you to write the book?
The book took me, it would have taken me less time if my attention span was a little bit longer. So it actually took me like 3 to 4 months to write it. So it wasn't hard, actually. The hardest part was just sitting down and doing it. It wasn't hard at all. It was the things that I tell patients on a regular basis. And once I got the idea for it and I got the outline, I sort of knew what I wanted to say. And so I just wrote it. I just let it flow out, which is why it was more of a conversational tone, because, I wrote the book the way that I speak and the way that I lecture. And so if I figure it would be easier for people to read if it were like we were having a discussion, a conversation. And so that's how long it took, and that's pretty much how it went.
And I just want to add before I have Goddess ask another conversation piece. Well, what did it feel like when you held the first copy in your hand?
Your face is light up.
I did a happy dance. I just kept doing happy dance, and I've been doing the happy dance a lot lately. Last night I actually got my shipment of books that
Yay!
And so I opened the box and I did that same yay!
Congratulations!
And I took a picture and I posted it on Facebook and I posted it on Instagram and I posted it on Twitter, and then every time I posted I did the same little yay!
Good stuff. Goddess, next conversation piece.
That's so exciting. There was a banner, an image on your site that said ancient wisdom, something about ancient wisdom and how, naturopathic, and you mentioned already in this interview that naturopathic medicine it's nothing new. It's stuff that we've been practicing for a while. So how do you feel about the modern medicine? A lot of people are really so dependent on it that it's really hard to kind of switch their mindset. They think it's something new or like witchcraft or, people can be really extreme. So can you give us a little bit of a background, because I'm sure we can find more information in your book, but a little bit of background on what the similarities are from the ancient times to now and, how they're connected.
Well, so one reason why I actually went into my naturopathic medicine is because it allowed me to use conventional modern medicine as well as medicine from, earlier days before modern medicine. And so I'm able to marry the two as well as I can, or as well as I see fit. And so that was always, that was one of the things that actually attracted me to naturopathic medicine. Now, as far as ancient medicine, nutrition, people have been eating since people have been alive, and so some of the principles that we teach with respect to nutrition, some of the principles that we teach with respect to, certain of the modalities, they haven't changed because the body actually haven't changed. No matter how much modern medicine changes and advances, the arms are going to be in the same place that the arms are. The nerves and the blood vessels in the body are in basically the same place that they have been. There might have been certain changes that have occurred over hundreds and hundreds of years, but for the most part, the body is still the same. And so with that principle in mind, how the body is affected by certain things that are around us won't change. And so no matter what modern medicine does, it's still, certain things are just not going to change. And if we can tap into the wisdom of our ancestors and the wisdom of people that have lived before us and not forget those lessons, then I believe we'll be much better off. Modern medicine, conventional medicine, is a beautiful medicine and it's a beautiful tool, but I believe that in having modern medicine available, we sometimes forget the simple things. And if we can get back to the simple things, then we may not have as many of the health maladies that we have right now.
Dr. Tursha, question or conversation piece for you. I love the title of your chapters in your book.
Thank
They're
you.
Great. and see, as you just did right now, can you share just a little bit about what you say about what's so funny? There's a chapter in your book, What's So Funny? You happen to laugh, so I thought, what a good segue. What's so funny? What is the importance of laughter in naturopathic medicine?
Well, laughter, well, one thing is, like, when we're children, we laugh like hundreds of times a day. We're always giggling. We always look at something simple and just find something in it. And it's not until we get older that we lose that. We become adults. We become serious, and we have to be straight-laced. And, you know, we can't laugh. We can't do anything that will be any silly. And why not? You know, be silly. Be youthful. It's not, getting old is not a problem. Not laughing and not enjoying life is what is a problem. And so if I can help people understand that laughter is good medicine, laughter has actually healed people, laughter has, you know, decreased pain, laughter increases your good hormones and your feel-good hormones, and, you know, that can actually heal your body. If we can laugh more, if we can enjoy ourselves more, if we can enjoy each other more, then life will be so much better. You know, we'll decrease stress, we decrease tension, we increase blood flow, we increase oxygen inside our bodies, and all of those things are necessary for good health. And so if it only takes me telling a joke, you know, to do it, to actually help somebody get healthier, then why not? My dad called me yesterday and told me a silly joke, and I thought that was the best thing. It was so corny that it was awesome. And why not? You know, why not laugh more? Why not get in touch with our youthful side so that we can stay youthful? And so that's what it was. You know, what's so funny? Everything. Laugh. Just enjoy yourself.
Excellent. Goddess?
I relate to that because I'm always kind of going back to my little girl and seeing what my inner little girl wants, and
absolutely,
that's why some of my tweets are really strange, or, you know, because she just kind of takes over sometimes. So I love that.
More people need to do that. More people need to do that. And so when I'm talking to people, even the way we, you know, exercise, we can get in touch with our inner child. And so, you know, when I'm talking to people about movement, and so, like, one of the chapters is called "You've Got to Move It." And so I actually got that title because I was watching, not recently, but I had watched, what movie was that? A cartoon movie.
Madagascar.
Madagascar, yes.
There you go. I like to move it.
Exactly. So even the name of the title came from, you know, a song that was in that movie. And so, you know, when the body is meant to move, and we sit in front of our computers, we get lackadaisical, we get complacent, we get comfortable, and we forget to move. And so, you know, if I can get people to not think about motion as exercise per se, because exercise is like a 4-letter word. And so, you know, if you can start to do things that are fun, dance, play with somebody else's kids if you don't have children, jump rope, hula hoop, play hopscotch, rollerblade. If you can just start moving and enjoy yourself, then, you know, your health will be so much better because you are actually moving. You're moving. You're getting your body in motion, and that is the whole point. Get your body in motion. It doesn't have to be at a gym, but enjoy yourself. And so then you're getting the movement, you're getting the laughter, and then you get all the other benefits from that. So enjoy yourself and move.
Like it. Goddess?
I have an interesting question. What would you suggest, what's one tip you can suggest for women in their 30s? This is obviously a selfish question, because I'm in my 30s.
So hold on a second. I don't go there. There's 2 things my mother taught me with ladies. Never discuss age and weight. So do you want me to block out my screen right now, or is it?
I think okay. I'll start lying later. I'm okay now with 30.
Okay. All right. Okay.
30s.
Something.
Yeah, but is there any, what is one important health tip that we should know in our 30s?
You know, there's so many different things that could be said about that, but I would actually go back and say keep it simple and start to enjoy life even more. You know, do the things that you did when you were a child to enjoy life more, because the more you can laugh, the more you can smile, the more you move, the more youthful you can be and will be, and the less likely you are to have those problems that we tend to get as adults. of course, there are a lot of things that could be said, with how to treat hormonal changes, how to treat, certain other things in the body. And that can be many, many more discussions by itself. But if you can remember to stay in touch with your inner child, to stay youthful, to stay in motion, then you will, hold on to your beauty and your youthfulness and your glow and your inner, in TCM it's called Shen, your inner, your glow, your beauty, your youthfulness. You'll tend to hang on to that longer. And so then you already have anti-aging medicine. And, you'll have a lot less of the issues that people have had before.
I love that. That is a money quote right there. I'm feeling that. Wow, that's as we say, that's a tweetable. That's a tweetable.
I like it. Tweet it.
Dr. Tursha, how important, because we're going to do a part 2, so we'll get more into the book so we can open it up a little bit. How important has social media been for you and this book?
It has actually been really, really huge. Social media is an intimidating beast. It is an intimidating beast. I don't like being on the computer too much anyway, and so it has been even more so for me because it forces me to have to be on more regularly, and I don't necessarily like that, but it's been a way that I can connect with people, and that in that regard, it's been a beautiful thing because, had it not been for Twitter, I would have never met you, and, had it not been for Twitter, I would never have met Goddess Intellect, and like so many other people, I've connected with them on Facebook, I've connected with them on Twitter, and so just being able to share and connect and exchange just in general has been huge. So definitely, as far as the book is concerned, my being able to market and share my ideas and share my thoughts have been huge with respect to social media. It's been indispensable, actually.
Goddess?
Will you be coming to visit us up here in Toronto anytime soon? And can we get your book up here? Because I know a lot of, after the show, I'm going to be telling everybody about it. So.
I would love
and she's got a serious network, believe me.
I would love to come up. You know what? I have my passport ready. So whenever my passport needs a Canadian stamp in it, so so just let me know. I am ready to come. And yeah, you can get it. You can actually get the book on Amazon, so it shouldn't be difficult to get it. I have suspended for a little while the sales on my website so that I can get ready for this event, but I'll have it back on my website, but you can definitely get it through Amazon, and that's shippable worldwide. And I'm looking forward to coming and meeting you all.
Yes.
Dr. Tursha, what was the biggest challenge for you writing this book?
The challenge wasn't necessarily writing it. The challenge was all the technical details. So understanding the publishing process, understanding the editing process, understanding, what people I needed to get in place to actually help me with certain parts of it. That was probably the more challenging part. But then, being a naturopathic physician, that is that's sort of my life, because I know how to be a physician, but being, a business owner, being a web designer, being like those technical parts outside of what it is that I do are the challenging parts. So the writing itself and the sharing of the ideas, that was easy. It was everything surrounding that was more difficult.
So did you do most of that on your own?
Actually, I did hire a company to have them do that, and now that I've gone through the process, it's not as intimidating for me because I have gone through it and I understand and I've asked enough questions. So now I know sort of what I can do on my own and what I can get help for. So yeah, my next project, which I'm actually getting the cover design now, and I already know what it is that I want to do. The next project will probably be a little bit more me and less outside help, just because I understand the process a little bit more now.
Sure. Goddess, any final conversation pieces you want to put out there for Dr. Tursha?
Sure. Just something that popped into my head right now. Do parents take their children to see naturopaths? Like, when is the right time to introduce your family or your children to naturopathic medicine?
Preconception.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, we from before birth to the end of life, just anytime you would see a physician, and I was stressed before birth. So if you have, male or female, if you have the idea or the thought that you want to have children, I would highly recommend that you go and see your naturopath as soon as possible, because you want to make sure that your body is ready to build the best human possible. There are, you know, you want to make sure that you're fed, you want to make sure that you're cleansed, you want to make sure that you are nourished, because it takes a lot of energy and resources to build a human, and people actually downplay that quite a bit. And so if we can tap into making sure that the person is healthy and fed and nourished and supported and cleansed prior to even conception, then you're much more likely to have a healthy human, a healthy child, a happy child, one that is much less likely to have defects of whatever sort, and then you continue that process while the child is being born, so that you're introducing healthy habits before the child even knows what a bad habit is. Then they'll be more likely to grow into a healthy adult and continue that process.
Excellent. Well, I think on that last conversation piece, we're going to finish up our part one of our discussion.
Yes.
And that was outstanding. Dr. Tursha, thank you so much for sharing some time with us today. We are jacked for your book release. Make sure you tweet and Instagram all the information. If people want to contact you, how do they get in touch with you?
The easiest way to contact me is through my website. My website is www.drtursha.com. So that's DRTURSHA.com. And I try to keep everything simple and practical. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and they're all Dr. Tursha. So DRTURSHA, and that's any one of those, you can get me there.
Let me ask you two quick more conversation pieces. Are any of your other fellow naturopaths as active online as you are?
You know, some of them are even more active than I am, and some of them are not. So I think it just depends on the person. I'm about ready to actually hire somebody to do this for me, because it gets to be a bit much. But yeah, there are some that are, absolutely.
And what is the meaning of your name, Tursha?
What's the question?
What is the meaning of Tursha? I love the name. I've never asked you the meaning.
Thank you. It's actually a name that my father came up with when my mother and father were young and in love, and the meaning that he gave the name was conceived in love. So, you know, when he came up with the name and they decided to give it to their child, then that was the meaning that he gave it, conceived in love.
Excellent.
So that's me.
That is wonderful. Well, we're all in love with Dr. Tursha. That is good stuff.
Thank you.
Goddess, how can people touch base with you? An outstanding job.
Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry, I was coughing. You know what? I made a mistake of not having a glass of water beside me, so I apologize.
How can you not do that with a naturopath on? Oh, wow.
I just need to get on and talk. It's a learning curve.
Absolutely. She'll remember next time, though.
Yeah, she will.
I'm excited about the next call. And you know what? I received the copy, and I'm also going to order a copy, because I'm a strange person. I need the print copies too.
Awesome.
So really, I want to get back on my naturopathic journey. I took a little hiatus, and so this has inspired me to get back on.
Yay.
Nice. And Goddess, how can people get in touch with you?
Oh yes, that. I'm on Twitter, Goddess_I. Facebook, Goddess Intellect, if you search that, and GoddessIntellect.com is headquarters.
Excellent. Well, I'm Dr. Vibe here. I'm the only one of the three here that hasn't written a book yet, so I'm really the odd person out tonight. But these ladies will inspire me and stretch me all the time. If you want to touch base with me, let's go to drvibeshow.com, the Dr. Vibe Show. All my contact information is there. As always, you're blessed and highly favored. You're a magnet for miracles and you're a solution for someone's problem. As always, God bless, peace be well, and keep the faith. Bye-bye.
Bye.